guys, and welcome. I am here with the voice of the Tennessee Titans and Mike Keith. How are you doing today?
Doing fine. It's good to be with you.
Awesome, awesome. I just have a few questions for you, so let's get started. First question is how did you get into the sports media field, and did you always want to be where you're at today?
I did. I started really wanting to be in sportscasting when I was in grammar school back in Chattanooga when I wanted to do it. Very interested in all forms of media. Played sports growing up. Had the opportunity to play sports in college, and just decided that I'd had enough. Decided to attend the University of Tennessee and start working at their student radio station, WUTK. And while it was painful to quit playing ball, I knew it was the right call because I got several opportunities while I was in college. And it led me to Ball Radio Network and WIBK Radio, WBIR TV in Knoxville, and eventually to the opportunity I have now with the Titans. And this is my 25th year.
Wow, that's awesome. So you are known for your exciting calls on radio and TV. So is that something you see yourself separating yourself from others in the field?
It's a good question. Probably so. It's not something I'm always happy about.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my reactions are oftentimes a little more enthusiastic than I wish they were. I wish I was calmer. I wish I sounded a little better at certain times, particularly in big moments like that. But the honest to goodness truth is that's who I am. I was that way as a player, and that's how I am in my life. I'm a very enthusiastic person.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think that's real. I've had to come to an acceptance of that, which was not very easy because I wanted to look and sound a different way. Like I wanted to be Jim Nance or somebody of that ilk. But I'm not,
Right.
And I think you have to do it your own way, the way God gave you the ability to do it. And then you have to take your chances that people are going to like it. And fortunately for me, I think what's sort of translated is people get that this is not an act. People understand that. And because they understand that it is not an act, they, I think, respect the honesty of it, even if it's wild and goofy and crazy and whatever else it is. Like I said, I wish it wasn't. I wish it was more just straightforward. But I think when we all look in the mirror, we all wish for something different, don't we? We
Yeah,
all wish
absolutely.
we were taller, or we had a different color hair, or we looked a different sort of way. But at a certain point, you have to become comfortable with your gifts. And I'm comfortable with that after 20. And while I still cringe when I hear my own voice, I think everybody kind of does that.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I still say fundamentally, okay, this is I got it right. I called the play right. I wish it sounded a little better, but in the end, what's more important than anything else is being right.
Absolutely. So going off that, what would you say your most exciting moment you've ever called for the Titans is?
Well, it's got to be the Music City Miracle.
I figured.
January the 8th, 2000 against Buffalo, the last second touchdown to Bills on a lateral pass. And that's a call that somebody told me 2 days after it happened. They said, for as long as you do this job, you'll always be known for that call. No matter what you do, you'll always be known for that call. And, that's kind of an interesting thing to have happen when you're in your early 30s, because you're like, man, I hope I do this a long time. And you hope there are going to be other things that come up. And there have been, fortunately. I've gotten to call a lot of exciting plays and players and games. But I think they're right. I think if we win 5 Super Bowls, I think in the end, that will be the one that I'll always be known for. And I'm very thankful I had a chance to call it.
Absolutely. That's my favorite call you've ever made. I watch it
Thank
on
you.
I watched it on YouTube and everything. And my teacher in high school was actually on the sideline for a local news station in high school, and so he was showing me the video, and I was like, "Oh, that's my Keith calling," and it was a good time.
Thank you.
So yeah. So what would a day in the life look like for you during the season, and then what would it look like for the off season?
That's a good question because what happens in season is I refer to it as Groundhog Day. Every Monday, I do the same things. I do interviews. I write for our TV shows. I work on our radio shows. It's all the same things. We taped 3 TV shows yesterday, for example. And then Tuesday is sort of a catch-up day where I do all my notes and, do what I call my homework. It's a lot of, it's like writing a term paper every Tuesday. Um, Fortunately, I enjoy it. I get to sit and be quiet and look at all the stats and everything. And then Wednesday and Thursday are practice days. They're also radio days. Those are the main things that you do. Friday, we have production meetings and you put all the notes together. Saturday is a compilation day where you pull everything together. And then Sunday is game day. And I tell anybody who will listen that, I've called 483 games, I'm told. Sundays are free. Monday through Friday is what they paid me for. Sundays are free. As a fan and as a broadcaster, you love that part of it more than life itself. The off season is wild because I have a very different job working as the vice president of broadcasting. I could be doing something different every single day. I'm often in meetings about planning for the next year, working with our sales team, working with our marketing team, working with our creative team, working with our broadcast team. I mean, it's something all the time. I travel, I speak about 100 times a year, do the majority of that in the off season. I work with our stations that carry our programming on radio and TV. It's really interesting. And it's one of the reasons that I've loved this job so much is because I have the 2 jobs in essence, an in-season job and an out-of-season job. I never get bored because by the time I'm getting bored with the out-of-season job, it's time to start the season. It's fun.
That's awesome. So last question I got for you was, what would you give any tips for any young sports media student coming into hopefully the field sometime soon?
Well, I think there are 3 or 4 things. Number one is you need to talk less and listen more. I wished I'd have known that. I wish I would have listened more. I was interested in telling everybody everything I knew all the time when I was in college. And as it turns out, I didn't know very much. At the age I am now, I think I would have annoyed me very much. I know I would. So listening is so important. The best way to impress somebody in any business setting is not talking. Because if you're letting them talk, everybody likes to talk and everybody likes to talk about themselves. Well, if you're letting them talk and you let them talk about themselves, then they're going to think you're a great guy or girl based on that. So they'll come back and say, oh, so-and-so is really a genius. And you might not have said anything, but it's because you let them do their thing. Hang back, relax, let it happen. And I think that's another part of it too, is just hanging back, relaxing and letting it happen. Jack Nicklaus has a great saying. He says, be prepared, force nothing, be yourself. And be prepared is obvious. Be yourself, which we were talking about earlier, is obvious, but force nothing. Don't do something just to do something. Let things come to you a little bit. Relax, experience it, and let that happen. And finally, if you want to be good in the broadcast business, always work on your writing. Everybody who is good in broadcasting is an outstanding writer. Because if you work on your writing, then that gives you the craftsmanship to be able to put words into really thoughts and feelings that you speak in a different way, and also in ways that people can understand. One of the things I'm constantly doing is I'm constantly looking at what I'm saying on the radio to figure out, can I give a better description in less words? Can I say Derrick Henry at right guard gain 7 yards, tackle by Smith, it's 2nd and 3, and or anything else? Can you say it in a more short, understandable way? Can you use better adjectives and adverbs? Can you use better verbs? Well, what is that? That's working on your writing. And I'll have to say, I'm a better writer than I am a broadcaster. And that's because my mother and my grandmother were English teachers. They made me that way. But I had great teachers in school too, who really forced me to do that. But always concentrate on your writing. It's very important.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciated it. And thank you so much for coming on.